out to all the single mothers out there, and all the single parented children out there. Don't you go on worrying about your daddy though, cause he'll be back one day. He'll be there to hold your hand one day, and there's gonna be one bright day.
Yeah, to all my boys and girls who didn't grow up with their daddies. To all my single mamas that couldn't just keep up with their hobbies. Sing along, the good. I know men put up a one color. Pero when you get here, then gana. Tu don't ver a pau, y tu con ver. The good. I know men put up a one color. Pero when you get here, then gana. Tu don't ver a pau, y tu con ver.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Is it my turn already?
Can you make up your mind? What is going on? Yo,
Good morning. Being away for a day from the morning show 21.
Wow.
Welcome to the morning mix.
We almost made it. Oh, that was quite a lot of fun. Yeah, we missed. I know you were.
yeah, I'm also seeing it on my screen.
Oh fuck.
Live video interact. We haven't had those in months.
Yes, lang klas with the
Yeah,
sweets.
like
So what?
so now we don't know what to do.
The internet is gefokt.
No, but it's still that way it interrupts, but it's still playing, so you can't stop the show. You just continue.
Ah.
And there's other
Francois.
people listening from there. You need to be mindful
From
of
the
those
streams.
from the streams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just continue the show as normal.
So,
I'll be laughing if nothing recorded. And we end the show.
we will continue.
Yeah.
We will continue. Francois, okay, Jelesalmar, you guys will give an indication if we are on.
It keeps just go. It keeps interrupting.
Kaufi, yeah, let's start off with the news of the day.
Monte News. Firm but fair.
This is Informante Live, and these are our top stories. The Ministry of Education has confirmed that due to the exam paper leakage, grade 11 and 12 national senior secondary certificate examinations are affected subjects. 4 affected subjects will be rewritten in January and February next year. Education Executive Director Sanet Steenkamp said this is to protect the integrity of the qualifications. All affected subjects, of which the exams have yet to be written, have been cancelled. The ministry also announced the early closure of schools. This is for regions to prepare for the continuation of the national examinations in the next school year. Jeremiah Emmanuel, who was arrested after he assaulted and stabbed his husband, Mr. Gay Namibia Wendelina Samotenya, appeared at the Katatura Magistrate Court. The 31-year-old Emmanuel made his first appearance before Magistrate Dennis Shavangulula and informed the court that he would apply for a private lawyer. It is alleged that on Monday, the 29th of November, in the district of Karatura, the suspect assaulted Amotenya by stabbing him with a knife with the intent to murder him. Emmanuel has been charged with attempted murder and assault. And finally, Mike Kavakotora of the Rally for Democracy and Progress has told Parliament that workers of the National Broadcasting Corporation, the NBC, who were part of a nationwide strike that resulted in unpaid leave, are between a rock and a hard place financially. Kavakotora in Parliament stated that he is concerned about the aftermath of the unpaid strike, which has seen some workers resigning from the national broadcaster in order to access their pension funds. He further questioned the $5.4 million Namibia payment which top-level management paid out to themselves, while the NBC was said to be facing financial constraints. Your Trustco share price today, the 2nd of December, is at $1.79 per share. Taking a brief look at the financial indicators, the Namibia dollar is trading against the US dollar at 16 Namibia dollars and 10 cents, against the euro at 18 Namibia dollars and 20 cents, and against the British pound at 21 Namibia dollars and 40 cents. This is Informante Live, and these were our top stories. You can find more on our website, which is informante.web.na.
Informante News. Informante News.
I'm sitting here reading comments.
What are the comments?
Nee, hulle soek my weer vroeg vanoggend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting news, Kalfi. What do we... Hey! Yeah. I think
So-
we're talking more about Corona these days.
Yeah, the corona is one thing, but one thing that stands out, and I think it has a massive impact. The story itself, I think, doesn't describe it as well, and we should actually have Sanet Steenkamp in the studio at some stage because of stealing exam papers. The entire country now has to go and rewrite these affected exams in January and February.
So-
that stuff's up. You won't believe how many scholars and or obviously them having to attend university next year and all that kind of stuff, how that is affecting families
does.
and scholars.
No,
it
it
is
does.
unbelievable.
Yeah, that's
the
why they're
story.
arrested. Yeah, 10 people arrested so far.
10.
10.
Wow.
It was initially 2. They arrested 8 more. So we're talking about 10 people that are facing very serious charges. For
Right.
the exact reason you said, I mean, it's a very costly exercise.
Absolutely.
That's
It-
just the first thing, because these papers are printed
right.
and they're prepared by
Yes.
somebody and so forth. And they're supposed to be kept private. So I mean, just the admin and the costs that come that that government will incur, right?
Yes. Yes.
But that aside from that, is usually you should be writing your exams by the end of the year so that your results come in early next year, and then you effectively then submit with those last year results for university.
Exactly.
That's not going to happen in time. But also more importantly, during the school holidays, that's usually when they have the teachers and the tutors that do the marking.
They do the marking, yes.
They do the marking, and so during that school holiday, they would then pay them to do the marking.
Yes.
So that the results are out. That's not going to happen in December.
Yes.
So who's going to do the marking next
Yeah,
year? And during when? Is it during classes? Are schools going to close again so that
Right.
it's a mess.
It's a disaster.
It's a
and,
mess.
And we are not even talking about any COVID restrictions, perhaps, that might come in. That you know, it's unbelievable
Yep.
that this is happening in our country. It's actually a disgrace, absolute
I mean,
disgrace.
I like to call it the exam leak scandal,
Yes,
because that's what it is. It's a scandal. It's a national scandal.
right.
Listen here. Please don't you guys sit here and act like in your whole school career you never had a little paper that was sneaked by somebody.
Or
a
writing
friend
on the
of a friend.
eraser.
I've never.
Or writing on the
I
eraser.
can understand
I've never.
crib notes and stuff like that.
Yeah, crib
you know,
notes.
Remember
An
those?
exam paper leaked? Never.
Oh,
Never.
In my,
No,
in
never.
my whole.
Neville,
Ah.
it seems like there's profit in it. Like, do these people actually, when they do these leaks, do they get paid by
Of course.
somebody?
They
Of
sell
course.
those.
They sell it.
Yes, of course.
They sell it.
And you must remember, they also just say, pay me the money, I'll WhatsApp you, because it's an encrypted form of
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah, this is quite different. Like, it's not like you going to UNAM for a course
Yes.
and then midterm you write an exam that was written 2 years ago because the teacher was too lazy to set up a new examination paper. So you just went through the previous examination papers and you happened to use one that was used again in university. That's quite different
Yes.
then, and because again that's the fault of your lecturer that does not want to set up a new paper. That's quite different from a paper that is written nationally,
yeah.
for grade 11s and 12, and a lot of this paper is determined who gets into university and who doesn't. It's not your school passing a test paper or your teacher printed a paper. You're writing a test tomorrow and your teacher asked you to print something and you made an extra copy and you passed it around your friends. It's not that type of leak.
Yes.
This is
huge.
This is
national.
next level
massive.
stuff.
This is
Yeah.
national. This is national.
I agree.
I don't think we've seen anything
Sa
like
probleem.
Yeah.
Sa probleem.
it. Yeah.
Koffie.
Okay, coronavirus cases. Okay, so I've got a different angle to this morning.
Oh, please.
So the
Humor us.
Okay, the official stats, I have to give that because it's part of what our listeners and viewers need to hear and listen. Okay, so the coronavirus cases, currently we've got 129,243 registered cases. So we're slowly but surely getting to the 130,000 registered cases, slowly but surely. We've recovered 125,495, and we've got 3,573 deaths thus far. But let's have a look at our neighbors, because it's always important to look at our neighboring countries
Yeah.
as to what's happening there. So South Africa, on the 28th of November, they had 23,838 active cases.
23,000.
800 on the 28th of November.
That was us in June, July, eh?
Yes, when we peaked. Okay, so now on the 1st of December, they're standing at 36,600.
Ja, ek het gehoor there was a
And that's in 3 days.
spike in 3
That's in
days.
And you
3
guys
days.
said corona is seasonal. I mean, it's a warm temperature. no?
Yeah.
I told
Okay.
you it's human behavior.
Yes, sure. Okay, Botswana, 602 active cases, with Angola 191 active cases. And please remember that Angola closed their borders on the 1st of
But I
December.
don't trust those numbers anyway.
Well, it's debatable. Yeah,
Yeah.
these we're getting these numbers just from the one platform.
I mean,
trying to get consistency. if you know what I mean.
Luanda alone has like our 10 million people.
Yes,
And you're
yeah.
telling me the whole country is reporting 190.
91.
Please, come on. Don't
Yeah,
bore me.
yeah. Okay, but then in Namibia we're sitting with 175 active cases. Daily new-
175.
Yeah, 175. Yesterday we had 45 new infections, but no deaths. Okay, so 0 deaths, and that is your coronavirus case update for you today.
Hoe lyk die weer? Hoe lyk die weer?
So the weather for today, partly cloudy and warm to hot with a few thunder showers in the north, the east and also the southeast. Fresh westerly winds are expected in the west, and we have checked the weather update for tomorrow. There is a chance for us in Windhoek to actually get some rain tomorrow.
Nee?
That would be
for
nice.
that, yeah. Then the coast, partly cloudy and mild to warm with a few showers today. The wind moderate southwesterly but fresh to strong southerly in the south. Maximum temperatures for today in Windhoek 30, going to the coast. Swakopmund was 24 and Walvis Bay with 24. The Zambezi region, Katima Mulilo with 36, then Okongo 32, Omuthia 29, and Oshakati today also with 29 degrees. So not too hot in those areas today. Ochivarongo, we are at 31 in Ochivarongo, with Rehoboth also at 31. Then our favorite, hottest place in the world is Marintal with 40 degrees, clocking in again as the champion. Keetmanshoop with 34, and then Gobabis and Beitepos at 30 degrees Celsius. And that's the north, the south, the west, and the east for you.
Koffie, thank you
so much.
Thank
Have a
you very
great day.
much. You have a great day, my brother. Thank you so much. Stephanus, James, Ananias, lost my t-shirt 8. You concentrate on the socks of Big Mitch. Yeah. Moausi Bali, it has been happening for years. This only came out in a social media era. Yeah, the stream, I hope...
I think he's talking about the paper.
about the paper?
The leaking
Oh,
of
the
the
leak. Oh, the leak.
Talking about the leak of the paper that it's been happening for years, but the social media. Yeah.
Fortune Jesiah says, and some people are very innocent. Some have been hostels. They never get any information. Why can't they just punish the source and the mentioned schools?
Because you
yeah.
don't know how far it has spread. That's the
Exam
Yeah.
rot. Yeah. I remember those years. I think at school we had like one or two situations where we heard about it. People. Wat lag jy?
No, Rosra. Mitch, are you in winter? What socks are those?
I'd say lost
And
my
I can-
socks.
As man's a style Kauro.
They actually look like clown socks, which I
Yeah.
mean, then you're a comedian, so and then you guys don't want to be called clowns.
Don't.
If he's a
Okay,
clown, then he's a
I'll-
clown.
Are we gonna go into
You're
that?
not.
I'm not.
The socks are for sensation.
Explain the socks, please.
They have a sensation.
What sensation? Okay, when you bought the socks,
Yeah.
what did you tell yourself? When
And
I'm
different
buying,
colors, by the way.
Huh?
They're different colors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
I'm
supposed to be like that.
buying myself these socks. And the reason I buy my socks, these socks, are because of reason 1, 2, 3. Explain yourself.
I bought them because firstly, they look cool.
Ne?
They look cool and they are for sensation.
What sensation?
Like during time.
Ne?
Yeah, you do it with the socks on. They
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
look at me.
The guy was sexy. You know the woman's.
Why would the
fitness-
guy wear?
No, I'm talking about. If it's a woman, you sexy, you are.
Listen.
And me, if a man tries to stimulate me and he's wearing knee-high, colorful striped socks with different colors, like mood killer.
How?
What is wrong with me having my socks on tonight?
It doesn't stimulate me.
I'm standing there.
In your boxes. Met die socks.
Nee, nie eens met my boxes.
Oh, they. Just yell it.
I'm butt naked with white socks on.
Yeah, white and. It should be white and black.
Fantasy and
If you were like a tap, you would just
You don't know nice stuff. Tuba.
Right.
Just leave. You don't know. Just Google the socks.
no, but I get you with the socks. I know a lot of my friends, not a lot of them, but I know some guys who wear what they call happy socks.
No, happy. I like happy socks. This is what happy socks look to me. A person is wearing a suit, looking dapper. Let's say like a one shade suit with a nice shirt, and it doesn't even have to wear a tie. And he just crosses his legs, and you see that pop of color.
Yeah, not the
You understand? It looks sexy.
Ah.
It looks like you don't take yourself too
You
seriously.
can-
You look playful, but that's not.
There are some girls
But you
that wouldn't
can
like
keep
a
your
man that
episodes.
crosses his legs. You see? Some girls wouldn't be stimulated by a guy who crosses his legs.
No.
Kama suokom sit.
Now you see, and let me
Actually,
quickly.
actually, I was doing this, but
No.
If I sit like this with these socks, they'll get other ideas.
Let me address that issue because my daughter has an issue with me because
there's nothing wrong with it.
I cross my legs.
Yeah. That's
My daughter would always, Daddy. I'm like, what is it, sweetheart? Daddy, don't cross your legs like that. That's like, sweetheart, what?
Tell her.
I feel comfortable
Yeah.
sitting like this.
Yeah.
Never. How old is your daughter?
She's 12.
A 12-year-old has a problem with it. You should know it's wrong.
She heard the stereotype somewhere.
Yeah.
This is ultimately, you should just tell her, I am comfortable with my masculinity.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't.
That's what I'm telling her. I said, but Daddy, that looks so wrong. I said, sweetheart, you know what? When Daddy sits like this, I'm at my most comfortable.
Yeah.
So what is the problem? No, Daddy, it's just wrong. So
I disagree, Neville. Don't tell her that. It is wrong that a 12-year-old tells you that. You must know if a 12-year-old has a problem with the way you sit, stand, or what.
This-
it is wrong.
This is the first and the only time that I will tell my daughter, "Yo julle jippe." Ja. Sy kan net cheap. Ek stel nie belang nie. Ethel Koningsdogter, dom span wat hy hoeke aan het. Hey, Ethel. Hey, laat ons mekaar baie na check vandag. Ek speel 'n moegel span vandag. Ja. I'm playing United tonight. Okay, that's why I'm putting on the shirt today.
We all know how it will end in tears, bruh.
And not tomorrow. It's gonna be quite a game this evening. Man United playing Arsenal this evening. We were both comprehensively beaten by Liverpool. Ek dink 5-0 en 5-1 goede or whatever.
Dit was ook geslaan.
Yeah, so it might be a 2-1 or 1-1 or 0-0, but it's going to be a close game. I see that tonight. Liverpool last night completely annihilated Everton in the Merseyside derby. I think all of you must have seen that. Estomish, what's going on with your 5G now? It's pausing. Ons kyk maar, Rou,
I've been
ons
watching
check.
it, by the way, the past, I would say 2 minutes. I know we're behind with you guys, but the past 2 or 3 minutes has been good.
Yeah.
So, let's just hope it was.
Luister, ek sien my cherry hierso, né? Ivy Baha. Ek sien my cherry hierso op die stream. Ivy, since you're watching the stream, can you please make it very clear to us where you are? You know what? I'm fighting with people here in, at Trusco. I'm saying you are in Atlanta, in America, and other people are saying that you in London, that you are somewhere in England.
You were spotted in London and in Atlanta. Can you explain yourself?
Please, Ivy, where are you? What you uripi ove? Uripi.
Mapasa.
Yeah,
Mohal says
mapasa.
happy socks are elegant. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the plus, then Dion says, "Lol, happy socks on a suit. It's a big no." You see, it's
Thank you, Dion.
It's you see,
Dion.
it's we all like different things. You understand? Like for me, it really represents, because first of all, I love men in suits. I just do. I find men in suits so sexy. But when they have a happy sock,
Mojos.
it's like then
Mojos.
it's that. You don't look so serious anymore. I know you don't take yourself too seriously, that you can still be playful. It also depends on what type of happy. It's not all happy socks, but like just some pop of color, just secret most. Just when you sit, it's
Never
so
on
sexy.
track suits aan, mora.
Woo!
Ek stel nie belang. I'm way past
Jay,
my
what
suits
suits
era.
mark you don't look too serious.
Yeah.
You're playful.
I am way past my suits era. Kyk
There is
hierdie ene.
thinking of
Tog nie kry jy nie
A
skam nie.
man with a nice suit and smelling so nice with a nice cologne. Weakness, baby. Yo, man, in
Kim
suits.
Malume as a belief. Please.
Can
Suits
I-
and happy socks.
I just want to advocate, guys, wear more suits. Dion, you know what I'm
Can-
talking about.
can-
And Dion
can-
probably gets hit on a
Can
lot.
can somebody please tag King Malume?
As a belief.
Yeah,
But
just
the
so
Batman.
that it,
The weakness. She
Ons sê net.
just described the weakness.
Yeah. Yeah. So
People
as
like I said, that's
jy
a competition.
as jy 'n throughpas wil hê, just wear your happy socks and put on a 3-piece suit. So how does it work for you? 3-piece or
It
2-piece?
doesn't matter. It just has to be like
A suit.
it has to be fitted. Ni pohamba, ifika punya pohamba se suits. Ni meer geenkop se suits. You know what I mean?
The
What,
ink-
what,
or
what,
message.
what, what is the difference here?
What
are you talking about?
Pohamba suits are not fitted. That's usually they're crawling on the floor. They are sweeping the floor when he's. They are covering the fingers. You just see like. You just see the tip of like the middle finger and the like ring finger. That's when shoulder pads a little bit, just I don't. Yeah, you guys, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then obviously Hage Lolo.
Yeah.
He's about his
Slim fit.
Slim
Yeah.
fit
That's made
and-
me out.
True.
Yeah, like those are the suits I'm talking about.
True.
That's a belief. That's a
True.
horoscope.
Yeah. Funny though. I say, Tuva, for many years, I was a suit guy.
Yeah.
Uh, at events, I would always sport a suit. Love suits. But this last, I think about 3-4 years, I just completely just grew out of it. I hate wearing suits.
Now you're wearing Arsenal shirts.
Yeah.
Downgrade.
Downgrade.
Yeah.
A huge
I
fall
just
from
have a-
grace.
Confirmation suit, bruh. Just a confirmation suit.
Net 'n
Die
confirmation
enigste
suit.
tyd wat ek 'n soet aangetrek het, toe ek geconfirmeer
Ja,
was.
klaar. Estimate Clarence Avant wife shot in their house. I don't know the guy, Clarence Avant. The name does not ring a bell to me, but nevertheless, I'll check it out a little bit. Ro, I don't need your opinion. Yeah. Cheap, JNet 8. Yeah, the top fans bought me this shit. So, yeah.
What did he say? I mean, we don't know what he said because you didn't.
No, he's just saying, you know what, yeah, I got a cock t-shirt on today.
Oh.
You know, that typical in Ro fashion.
You knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah,
You
I
knew
know.
it already, and you still did it.
Yeah, and Ro says, Maria lost for Pamba 8. His era was the best.
Ja, mos, laat altyd sê. The golden
The
era.
golden
Mense het
era.
ge- Eet.
Mense het
Is 'n
ge-
groot wonder. Rose sê niks van my sokkies nie. Hy het nou eers opgekom.
Yeah, no, but he did say, you got clown socks on. He did say. Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
Guys, I want to ask you a question. Again, I have to bring my daughter into this equation. So I get a lot of flack from my daughter every day when we drive home, when I pick her up and I take her home. We would always encounter the street kids at every 1 or second
I think
traffic light.
I'd like us to stop calling them street kids. We'll normalize them.
Okay, so then what should
No,
we
just
call
say
them?
the homeless kids.
Homeless kids.
Yeah.
Is-
Because
But they're
Maria,
not homeless.
but why are we?
no,
They're
but
not
just-
homeless.
no,
English
no,
semantics.
No. By the way, this is just me. This is
Okay.
not like a PC
Oh,
term.
okay.
I just think like when we call them street kids, we normalize the term street kids, and then when they act like street kids, then
For
we're
me,
like,
they are street kids.
okay.
That's how I see them as street kids.
We must just also stop calling struggle kids.
Ne? Oh, because they are not
I'm
struggling.
one.
They are not struggle kids.
I'm one.
You're not struggling.
Yeah. So why
Are you
are we
struggling?
calling you struggle kid?
Yeah, I don't agree with the term. I'm saying I am one. That's
Yep.
as per
But you-
the kids
but
born
But you're
out
saying
of
you're
the-
one, but you're saying you're not agreeing
to
with
give
the
you
term.
context. To give you context.
Okay, to
Okay.
give you context, the kids are standing in the street.
Streets.
All right.
Yeah.
So we would encounter these kids on the street, and she's at a stage of her life that she's in this we are the world stage, and every time one of these kids would be knocking on my window, she would like, Daddy, don't you have anything in the car to give this guy?
Yeah.
And I would like, sweetheart, I don't want to give him anything. Say, but Daddy, why don't you want to give him anything? I said, but sweetheart, you know what? If I give him something, I perpetuate him to stay on the street. There are certain centers and programs, and these kids are coming from farms outside of Witvlei. They are normally, they get a lift, and they come and they are positioned here, at street corners. And I hear that sometimes there are handlers who ask them to stay on the street and then beg for money, and then they get a certain cut. I'm just speculating. I don't want to give them any money, sweetheart. No, but that is not right. Give them something to eat or whatever. So it goes on and on. And yesterday, just as we take the turn off to the Western Bypass, as we're driving home, this street kid, there's a car in front of us. I see this guy opening his window, giving this kid portie chips. This boy takes the portie chips, looks at it, and throws it right back into the car and swears at this guy. So this guy jumps out, and there were some loose stones, on the side of, of the pavement. This kid, you can clearly see he is, and I see him regularly there. He is so ready. Like, I know how to handle you if you get out of the
your
car. You can see this boy is He's street cleaner.
When you say street boy, like boy, when you say boy, like what are you estimating his age is?
It's about 15, 16. So this boy picks up 2 rocks and like, come. And I told my daughter right there and then, you see, this is what I'm talking about. Most of these kids are not hungry. Sometimes they want money. For other ulterior reasons, they want money. And this particular boy, I saw him this one day in Namalokasi, right next to
Big shops.
Emmanuel Chifidi.
Shividi, okay.
As you come from Namalokasi, there's this T
Say
junction.
Koreanka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the spot that this kid was sitting, and he was sitting sniffing glue, and you could see he was just clearly just completely out of it. And I don't know how you guys see this issue of my terminology, street kids. What's the terminology you use?
Homeless.
Or homeless kids, or
I
the
know some
homeless.
people are saying somehow they have kids. No, I'm talking about homeless kids that sleep in the riverbed.
Yeah.
By the way, those are the ones you see begging.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about the scenario with your daughter. I think how I would have handled it is perhaps if she, my kids are also humanitarian. They really love to give, but I try, instead of trying to give them a hard fall from this, because it's a nice thing for a child to want to give, right? It's a good thing and it should be encouraged, right? But it's like, how do we encourage them? I don't want to give them a hard fall from grace. So I would have said, perhaps encourage her, since she wants to give, she gives what she has. So in a sense, like if you know you're going into town, you're most likely going to find homeless kids. Pack some old shirts or clothes in the car, right? And when we stop at a traffic light and you feel like giving somebody an old shirt or something, give them one, Or if you want to give them something, whatever your pocket money is, you save for it. And you give them from your money
That's a good
that you've
idea.
earned. Or if you want to give them food, when we go to a restaurant and you don't want to finish your food, ask for a doggy bag, keep it in the car. When we drive somewhere, you give it to them. You understand? So have her do that for them, and then it still encourages the humanitarian in her, and she can feel a sense of, because I know that humanitarian feeling in kids, it's very, when you feel it, you want to save the world. You can't, but you really feel like you want to save the world. So I think it's just teaching them that you can make a change in little ways. But she has to do it, not to say, Daddy, take $10 out of your pocket and give it to the child. No, you take $10 that I give you.
Out of your savings.
Yeah, from your savings. If you want to give it to them, and give it to them. That's fine. It's your money. You do it, but you do it since you want to feed that feeling. Because if you do it, she's just going to have a satisfaction of you giving them, not that she's given them. So I would encourage her perhaps to, don't discourage the humanitarian, because you're very correct. With the homeless kids, they're not all innocent, but one thing I think we can all agree is that they all should be in a better place in their life. So even if they are sniffing glue, even if they're alcoholics, that's the card that life dealt them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's a tough life. Sometimes I think if I was living on the streets, I definitely wouldn't want to be sober. I wouldn't want to have a clear mind all the time. I wouldn't know how to get through the cold, how to get through the pain, how to get through the hunger. I would want to sniff glue and drink alcohol so that I'm just getting through the day.
Voor jy antwoord before you give your take on it, Mitch, Ro is asking, Neville, is it that one that cries if you don't give him anything? That is the high bliksem. It's him. And if anybody, Shalako,
What does this say?
you can say, Ro, that's wild coming from you. Shalako, if you see this boy, okay, you will not feel sorry for him at all. It's just my take. Okay. This boy, I've seen him many a times. He would throw himself in the middle of the street, as hy geld vra en 'n car passes by, dan gooi hy homself op die pad, dan rol hy crying, but you can see it's a show that he's putting on. In my view, it's a show that he puts on, and he's the same boy that almost tried to assault this driver as the driver jumped out of the car.
I know exactly who it is.
You know exactly that boy.
But that's
I
one
got,
boy
I got
out
some
of how
pictures.
many guys?
Yeah, no, I understand.
I'm just saying, I'm using him as an example because there's a specific incident that happened that I'm talking about.
No, I get
and,
you.
and there's a picture that my daughter sent to me last night of a picture of him standing at a car, and then the right hand side of the car door is completely bumped in, like he kicked the car or something like that. I'll show it to you guys. But before, maybe you can just say what you wanted to say.
Yeah. Okay. For us, I grew up knowing Zula boys, not street kids, basically. But
the Zula boy.
they do, and it was kind of like a profession for them to come out here, beg, do a little dance, what, and Zula boys actually went home to go feed their families. Because some of these boys' mothers are alcohol addicts, they're drug addicts, and this guy comes home because he knows the money his mom is gonna get is gonna go to alcohol. So he gets this money and go feeds his 2 or 3 brothers. So whenever I see something like that, whenever I see them there, and you'll know this dude came to come get food or not. Like the other day, I had food in my car, and this dude came up to me, and he asked me for food directly, like, "Hey, Jenny Costa of eating." So I know the difference between them. These kids live obviously because of certain reasons. Like if I had a mom that brought me to the Shabin and she passes out at the Shabin and I have to sit there and I'm 7-year-old.
Scenario that you explained the other day.
And then and then another guy, which is a street kid, comes through and says, "Brad, because these people also have their little communities.
Yeah.
You know, I believe they also wouldn't want to be called street kids. I also believe they wouldn't want to be called Zula boys. But we do it because that's how we know it. That's like we put context to it. Like we said, he's a street kid because he's on the street. He's a Zula boy and a Zula. So I believe they don't want to be called that. And you'll always find the ringleader with them. The one that always says, okay, bring the geld, this for cost, this for drugs, this for what. So I know that far.
Gayton Curtis Landu says, "Morning, guys. I work for an outdoor advertising company and I have a client who is about to run a campaign regarding street kids. Basically, the artwork says, stop giving street kids money because that's what keeps them in the streets. And let me tell you, I know this campaign is going to be controversial. Paulus Thomas says, that kid must be removed out of the city by the farmers. He doesn't fit the city life. Rovera says, that kid kicks the cars, breaks windscreens. He is unruly, straight. Rose says, Shalako, don't jump to conclusions if you don't know why I am asking. Drink water, please. Paulus Thomas says, buy new clothing. When clothes are old, then are no more nice to everyone.
No, sorry, by the way, when I say old clothes, it doesn't mean that they are torn and whatever. Sometimes it's just clothes that somebody has grown out of. That means they're not brand new. Trust me, those clothes go a long way. I have piles and piles of clothes that my kids don't fit in, and I promise you they're still in top-notch condition, and that's why I send them to the north to other kids to use. So when we say old clothes, we don't mean torn and give them the stuff that even you wouldn't wear. It's just the stuff that you don't either use anymore or that doesn't fit you anymore.
Yeah, Neville. What I wanted to say is like subliminally, I feel like this is the way of them striking for their treatment that they get, like street kids. This is the way, standing there and asking money. This is the way of striking. Just like if we have let's say when we do prepare our strikes, you know, then we walk around with everything, and in those strikes or those I don't want to call them riots, you are gonna find people that are gonna be violent. You are gonna find people that are there for the cause, but they they're more expressive, or they're more what, you know. So I feel that's their way of doing it. And just because, like, if we beat up somebody that's striking, like in that strike, like we beat them up, or the police beat them up, we're gonna say police brutality. What, you don't beat people, it was a peaceful what. So that one
Do
person,
you really think it's striking?
that's no, I'm just saying it's striking him being
No,
expressive of
guys,
what.
no, he's just unruly. It's fine. He's just unruly. Sometimes there's no thought process to it. He's just unruly. I don't have a problem with him being called unruly or whatever. If it's a problem, it's a problem, and
And
it
it's
should be
him.
dealt with.
That's
But,
him.
yes, but I think the issue I'm having is that, like, if we're going to use that one kid to paint all homeless
Understand.
children the
Yeah,
same,
yeah.
because for the most
Yeah.
part, my experience, I know these things happen, but for example, I've never had that experience with any of the street kids that I come across. They ask for money. If you have, you have. If you don't, you don't. If you have bread, you give them. Nobody's ever thrown like the food in my face, or broken my glass, or kicked in my door. And I see them every day. So that's my experience with them. They've never been unruly towards me, but I know there are those unruly ones. But of course, if we're going to take one unruly kid to paint a narrative of all street kids, that's
Yeah,
also
no, you're right.
problematic. But yeah, I don't think it's a demonstration. I don't necessarily. So he's probably just problematic, and he's got issues and
But he's a
all these other things. And that's
and
what it is.
and I must say, and it's a good point that you're mentioning that there, Maria, because you know what, this kid, I've seen him for a number of years on the street now, and he pisses me off so much because of his drama,
And he hardens your heart.
and he
towards others.
hardens my heart
Yeah.
towards other
Other.
street kids, and where I just basically have just a blanket approach of, man, fuck, ek bly weg van my af. So I'm asking you guys the question, and like Gayton is referring to this upcoming campaign.
Yeah.
It is such a difficult topic.
It's drenched. I think it's drenched in privilege.
Yeah, I hear what you say, and phew, do we continuously give street kids money to sustain themselves? Let's take this one boy out of the equation, and like what a lot of people say, perpetuate these kids being on the street continuously. If there are options for these kids at a little center where they can be housed, where they can be fed, where they can get an education, where they can become
I think.
acceptable
Yeah.
citizens of society. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should look at socialization. I think it's so easy to say, oh, I'll take them off the streets, put them in a shelter, they're going to stay there. You can't break the socialization just like that. If somebody's used to hustling, to being there, to surviving, to whatever, they're not necessarily going to survive in a, or not going to do well in a controlled environment where you take a board, create your course, and can sit in a tent and then wait for your next meal, you know, or you know what I mean. We had this Irimari guy from that Irivari, sorry, that they tried to put him in school. He didn't even last 2 months, you know, because of the mentality. So you need to understand that the issue of homelessness is at the core of it is how they're socialized. That it's very difficult to you need to get into the psyche of it. You know, you can't just break the chain. But also, let's not act like we're giving these kids bundles and bundles of money every day. I mean, if you give a homeless person a lot of money, it's $10. If you give them a lot of money, it's $10, right? For the most part, it's you've got $2 here or $3 here, maybe a $5 here and there, and you give that to them. I know a little bit more of the responsible ones that will ask you, can I push your trolley to your car, and then give them some. I prefer those ones because I get the mentality is that it feels like they're working for that money, and I'm happy to give a child that didn't ask me necessarily for $5 because they asked rather, can I push your trolley and then get to the car, help me unpack my groceries, and I give them something, right? So I get that mentality. Maybe we want to break that, but I think we need to get to the core of it. It's not as easy as hal af van die straat af, sit in a center, sit in a school, and this is going to resolve it.
Wait. I got a very controversial question I need to ask you.
Okay.
and I want you to answer, and we can chip in as we deal with
because
it.
I wanted to also talk about the company, but let's.
Yeah.
let's
So, my observation, me, Neville. My observation is that whenever I drive around and see these kids, they always happen to be either Damara or Nama. I've never seen a Vambu kid, a Hero kid, or any other tribe's kids standing at these street corners. Is there a particular reason
And it's
why
only boys.
it's only boys? It's only boys. And why is it only Damaranama kids? Maybe you can give us, I don't know if you have
Context.
a reason
No.
for the context.
Okay, I've seen.
Tough question,
Yeah,
eh?
no, it's cool and it's true. Like we in the Damara community, we have that problem. Our kids always go out to the streets and they'll do that. That's why I said we know them as
Outre.
Outere. And there are reasons why they do that because a lot of our community, the households are broken. And these kids leave because of those reasons. These kids don't just stand up and leave. These kids that you see there, they're coming from houses. It's not that they're homeless. They're coming from houses. And these kids, because to us it's like as jou toekoms. Maar 'n Wambuzali sal nooit sy kind sê as jou toekoms nie. 'n Wambuzali, she will go stand in that line with that kid and put him through UNAM and what. But to us, if you don't want to go to school, it's your problem. But
So it's a problem that you see within the Damaranama community.
yeah, I've seen it a lot. It's your problem. So there is
Or
not.
like whether you go to school or not, it's your
it's
problem.
your problem. That's
They're not going to beat you to go
They
to school.
won't beat you up. They won't take you to school. A Vambu kid, when he sees his father, his eyes goes like this. It's like
And you are partly Vambu, right?
yeah, I'm partly Vambu. I have cousins that are like that. You know, so
So you're comparing from the one side of the family, to the other side.
to the other side. I've cousins like Vambu cousins but they are not on the streets. They're doing some other stuff. Hulle gaan bots mense by nattes. But we don't call them street kids just because they're doing something and wearing those Avanias and what. Maar hulle gaan bots mense by nattes. But these kids, the Damara kids, they're going to these places because of the situations they have there. And rightfully, Neville, you'll see a lot of Damara kids because you're in Windhoek. But go to Rundu. Go see if you'll find a Damara Sulabwe there. You'll find Caprivians, Vambus, and
No,
what.
but I think what he's saying is in Windhoek, it's not predominantly Nama or Damara.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a
what-
melting pot of everybody.
Everybody.
So in Windhoek is the best example
Sambu.
because if I only see Vambu kids in the north, that doesn't really demonstrate anything. If I only see Nama kids in the south, that doesn't really say anything. If I only see Herero kids in the Herero heartland, that doesn't say anything. But in Windhoek, where we have Nama, Damara, every single tribe that's represented, and we're only seeing like disproportionately from one tribe or two tribes or whatever, then it begs the question, why? And I think that's
Not-
what is getting
No,
at.
I'm
And-
answering
and-
it. I'm answering it.
and-
I
and-
was actually busy.
Ek wil ook, en jy's reg, Mitch, and I just want to add to what you are about to answer, to what Tangeni with the capital T is saying. Aye Neville, daar is Wambus en Kavango Zula boys by Elisenheim train tracks. Tangeni, you are so right. I completely forgot about that, but I have to
I was
say,
going
Zula.
there.
So
I was
is
going
Zula
there.
the same as, are you guys using
Hustling.
No, listen to what I'm asking. Are you using street kids and Zula interchangeably? Because I don't think they mean the same thing.
Okay.
We're all Zulaing, yes. But I mean, when I talk about homelessness, I'm not talking about your Zula boy that grabs your bag or breaks into your car and takes
Okay.
a wallet. That's
yeah, that context is a little bit different because.
so. That's what I'm saying. What is it? I'm trying
Yeah.
to understand.
Kyk, Zula is a Xhosa word that means when you say Zula and you say Zama,
It's hustle. I know.
it's hustling. It's you're trying for yourself.
Okay,
That's-
let
yeah.
me put this this way. At the corner of Frankie Frederick Street, there are men that stand there to, whether if you want the garden person or somebody to paint or somebody to whatever, they are there every day. If you drive now on your way to Grove Mall, at the robots
Yeah,
there, at
true.
Frankie Frederick's, they are there every day.
Yeah.
I don't consider those homeless people.
Yeah.
You understand?
I understand.
You might call them Zula boys because they're trying to hustle and make money. But they're not homeless. So when I talk about homelessness, right, I'm literally talking about people that are surviving on the streets. Do you understand? People that are surviving on the streets. And I'm just giving that context because now I'm lost. What is the context? Is it about hustling or is it about homelessness? Which is it?
I was about to explain that.
Okay,
Then
dis
we
reg my
went
bro.
to that. Okay, so just the men on the street as well. Like we said, context. They're on the street. What? Why don't we call the men on the street like they are street kids also, or
I
street
understand.
men? You see, it's just hustling, but just another department. These guys are asking you to say, "Let me go clean your house," but this guy is asking you for the end result already, money. And because he's asking for the money, we call them street kids because we feel like they're laziness. But it's his way of doing it. So if you go to Natas now and to Kanjeras, the Yashes, let's say for you, Musta, like, hey, let me get you the license. And then you pay me something. Let me go stand for you in the line. And then you pay me something. He's still doing that. He's still doing the Zula. You see, he's still at the street.
Yeah.
But we
That's
don't
his
call
hustle.
them street kids. It's just that his Zulaing is different.
But are you negating that there's homelessness?
There is.
Okay, so that's why I don't want to use the word street kids. You understand?
yeah, I understand,
Because
I
I'm
understand.
really talking about what I'm talking about is homelessness. People that you see pushing a trolley, coming to your dustbin because they know the garbage truck is coming tomorrow. So they go through your garbage. Whether they're kids, usually it's grown men.
Grown men, yeah, that's
that
what
go
I wanted
through
to ask, yeah.
your garbage, that have that ShopRite trolley, that fill it up. It has a mattress and a blanket because at the end of the night they're going to sleep under the bridge. I'm
That's
speaking about homelessness, guys. Because Zula is not necessarily homelessness.
Yeah.
You can be homeless and Zula, or homeless and not Zula, and you can be a Zula and not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's. I don't want to use it interchangeably, and I need that distinction. So if we're talking about Zulaing, that's clear in I think all tribes, right? It's not. But homelessness, I do see, and I want to get to the psych and socialization of understanding why homelessness mostly affects a certain tribe in society. Here in Windhoek, we're seeing it. And I don't think it's correct, but I also want to understand why it's happening so that can be corrected.
Kijk, kom ek sê byvoorbeeld. En Maria, it's funny that my daughter, she's 12 years old.
She observed it, you said, yeah.
If it's Friday, my daughter wants to go to Katatura. That is where she wants to be. She wants to be at Oma's house. She defines a weekend as being in Katatura. Now, if I pick my daughter up on a Sunday afternoon, hey sweetheart, how was your weekend? Nee, daddy, ons het so gemaak en ons was by Oma en toe and I didn't want to go to the shop because I wanted to go and buy me credit. And I was scared to go to the shop. I said, but go to the shop. Ah, daddy, das damaras by die winkel. So, excuse me? Nee, daddy, die damaras daar by die winkel, nee. Woe, is gevaarlik. I'm 50 years old. I was 12 years old. And I had the same fear
Really?
as her going to the same shop. We would stand there in her locatie. Frankie, jy kan vir Frankie vra. It's just after Frankie became Frankie that they started leaving him alone. As kids, Frankie, then we would stand there and we would look at the shops and we would like, mami, ek kan nie nou brood gaan koop nie. Daar's baie damaras wat voor die winkel nou staan. We would literally wait for the damaras and namas to leave so we can quickly run to the shop, buy the bread and run back. I'm 50 years old. My daughter is going through the same thing now that she's 12. That's just all I wanted to quickly say. I need to read some comments.
Okay.
TJ Donatello says it always starts when they are young. This is what it's basically just responding to what Mitch is saying. Esther Mitch says, HMS is saying, Mitch, it could be some on this grown men has become adults, but the hustle started when they were young. Trini says, Where are the parents? What is the constitutional mandate of social workers? Who is trying to find the correlation of why they are on the streets and the circumstances of the parents? Some are homeless by choice, might sound meant and devoid of empathy, but people are just too cunning for easy money. Churches, this is also your social responsibility. Hence, you meet government halfway in these social ills.
Yeah.
Thus, you are not taxed. Identify the parents or guardians and let social workers do what they are mandated to do, and see if we, guys, just
Can I
write. Just write your comments a little bit shorter. I understand we
Can I
want
read-
to give context.
Yeah, can I give is it Bradley?
Yeah.
Says I think it's attributable to the broken houses.
Yeah.
And there are many causes that breaks a house. It's things like absent fathers, which mostly leads to school dropouts, crime, alcohol abuse, joblessness, and all that. Hence, the guys goes to the streets. Take into account the tribalism as well. Imagine we are only 3 Damaras at the ministry where I am in the division of finance. The rest are obvious just one tribe. How
Yeah.
many of us can take care of our houses?
Ja.
Okay, can I go?
Kom ek lees
Okay,
nog 'n paar.
lees.
Dis regtig
Tangeni
klomp
says-
comments nee.
Ja,
Age
jy het my mos
level.
gevra, ek moet mos.
Ek weet ja.
Age level daar was 'n bra en Keetmans wat my altyd change afgevat het as ek brood gaan koop. Still gives me nightmares.
Ja.
Ja. Jy moet
We
leer.
we all had them. I remember when I was growing up, we had the Bosman, so I was scared of them. Don Jane Mwandi, what about the well-off people who go to and from church driving alone, past other children and mothers going to the same street or church? That's just hard for me to digest. Rose says, you are correct, Maria. We can't look at the two as one. Kasupi Shindume says, we need to identify them and record them. That is the first thing to do. Then we know who is where. Estomish says, never old Tura days, some kids just rob people because they are working for the bigger guys. Tragic. Rose says, I think it is because alcoholism and violence is a very big problem within the Damaranama community. That's his take. Stephanus James Anania says, people will complain about these street kids and in the same breath sing anti-abortion. Yeah, that's oh yeah, okay.
Okay, you wanted to say
Yeah.
that?
Say-
No,
come
I'm
on,
trying
go.
to explain
Yeah.
the situation that Neville's daughter has. So before I go into that, let's just be honest. If we meet somebody and we, like for me, I've always come across these people, and this is the thing about us. Like, and I wanted to talk about that with the company itself. So when you come across a Damara, the first things people think is he's not educated. He can't speak as well as I can.
That's how you feel.
I know. That's what they say.
That's the stereotype.
That's what they say.
Okay.
They'll be like, oh, he's not educated. He can't speak as well as I can. He doesn't read up. He doesn't do what. He's a thief. He's a what. And this is it. And when we always got to come across other tribes, and I'm explaining from the days of Kwaito, and we all know Tamaras actually started with dancing Kwaito.
Tamara Punch.
Tamara Punch, and then Kwaito came into that. And this Kwaito thing, I'm explaining to you why you keep, this Kwaito thing formed groups. And this is the thing that Vambus had in them, like a Tamara Salminislani. So this is where the stabbing stereotype comes from. So Damara was like, okay, this person is saying they are stronger than me, they are what? So what I will do is when we get into a fight, I will hurt him. I don't want to win the fight. I just want to hurt him. So this is my location. This is my group. So the Vambu guys had a black company. Gemeendes guys had most their own group. Gemeendes guys had their own group.
Hallo, julle almal op die groep hierso. Stop calling this place gemeente.
Okay,
Yeah.
let him
It's
finish.
gemeente. Yeah.
So they formed groups. These are dancing groups, and in the groups they are like the shields, the what and what, and the Damara location, the Nama location had DOCs. So what they did was, if you're gonna come to Grootwingels, and I know you stay across Grootwingels, they know you're from another place. Hulle sal jou afvat, of they'll step you even though you did nothing. They will just do it to prove a point. When you come here, this is what's going to happen to you because you have this ideology against me. So every time any other person comes there, they will really like grab your stuff or whatever or stab you. So that's why people are afraid of the big shops.
Okay.
So now people were always told like, hey, moenie by die groot winkels gaan nie. As jy by die groot winkels gaan, rol jou vensters op. As jy by groot winkels gaan, hy damara sal jou afvat. As jy by groot so me, I started believing that also. I didn't go to groot winkels until I was 15.
But Mitch, you know what? I understand the territorial stuff that you talk about. Okay, but you know, I grew up in the hero section of Katutura, OD, and then we had police camp. That forms part of Grootwinkels. And those are Vambus who stay there. And then you have Namalokasi and dan Tamara 7 and Gemengde who all come to the big shops. But I'm saying die Vambus wat kom Grootwinkels toe, die heroes wat kom Grootwinkels toe, would never bother you for money or threaten you with a knife for your money. I've always been scared of Damaras and Namas. So that is not a territorial thing for me. That is petty crime.
That's what I was going to say.
No, I was Neville. You said, your kid said, I am scared of Damaras. So now I'm explaining to you why she said that.
But what I'm saying is, what she's experiencing is, she's scared of petty crime. Haar geld sal afgevat
She's not scared of Damara omdat die persoon Damara is. In this scenario is the one standing by the groot winkel that if she goes and buys bread, they will take her $10 or whatever.
But Maria, she is scared because he's Damara.
That's why I'm explaining
because
No, I understand. I'm saying it wouldn't be, she wouldn't be scared of the same Damara if she was just walking down the street here in Windhoek Avenue. You understand? So she's not scared of a Damara specifically.
But Damara's there.
They're at
Grootwinkels. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
So it's not all Damaras, it's Damaras at Grootwinkel.
Now do you understand what I'm saying? Your kid didn't say, Papa, I'm scared of petty crime. She said, I'm scared of Damara.
No, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
But is it not because she's associating petty crime with Damaras?
Yeah,
because of
she does.
what she might have experienced there with the Damaras?
And then I explained to you, they made it clear that so everybody around it was like, Grootwinkels is dangerous. A girl didn't want to go on a date with me because we texted each other and I said, I live the side of Grootwinkels. She said,
Rose says, but it's not correct, Mitch. Grootwinkels is a problem. Hey, Haji, losses.
I am saying it.
Tangeni with a capital T says, I blame it on the movie Blood In, Blood Out. Vatos Locas. I remember that movie.
Yeah, it was
Mitch, it was tough growing up in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah?
Territories were marked, boss. Yeah, also true. Estomich says, the old days there was Red Cross. Kids who couldn't get enough to eat, they got free meals. Things have changed. New era, sad era. Yeah, Estomich, I also ate at the Red Cross. Roy Chris. I was also part of that. TJ Donatello says, so gang lives were created. Yeah, for many, many years. Jürgen Geisep says, die kerke is erg op abortion. Yet they turn a blind eye towards the plight of street kids. Dante Ilovu says, are churches actually still socially responsible, or are they just building fancy churches and making pastors rich? Good question. What is the social responsibility of churches when it comes to these kids that are completely destitute in society? It is a problem.
Mariana says, but if you associate Damaras with petty crimes at Grootwinkel, will you not later on associate Damaras with danger? It's a good question.
Half of my friends are either Damara or Vambo, as I sit here. So I was basically just from my side, just sharing my
Reference, yeah.
and to my daughter's reference as to what she talks about. So I guess all of us have our references.
Yes, and I think stereotypes, as much as I think stereotypes are like dangerous, I think my only experience with something similar is we were trying to shoot in initially the location scouting that we got was in Damara location, and we're supposed to shoot 3 models. We couldn't do it. Why? For 10 minutes because every few seconds somebody drunk was coming over, touching the models, whisper, the cat, whatever. We were so, I'm not even lying, right? We were so nervous just being there, right? And we actually moved, it's so funny, that was my only experience. And we actually moved the second location was in Herero location. And it was very different over there. We just had a different experience. And what I hate about that, by the way, that experience is, obviously I don't use that experience to lump people in the same whatever. Yeah. But unfortunately, other people don't think like that. So that one experience in Damara location, and that's why I think Rihanna's question is relevant. Yeah. That one experience can be how you will perceive moving forward all Damaras or all Namas or all Hereros or all Bambus, and this is not just for now. Even Bambus, how many times the world say, oh, yellow Bambus don't die and yellow Bambus don't die, and they are Bambu man, yellow Bambu. We also get it a lot, by the way. But again, it's that tribalism thing, and it's just unfortunate that usually a few experiences become the narrative for the whole tribe, and that's just not okay.
Do you remember the first day when I came here and I spoke about experience that I had with a company that booked me, and the company first wanted to hear how I speak English, and it's rightfully them. So when they did that, it was okay, is it because I'm Damara? It was I was gonna use the Jew and I was gonna use the what,
What happened?
Yeah, they booked me. They asked me for my quote, everything, signed off the quote, and then the white lady came through and she was like, "But I actually need to hear how you speak and how you." I was like, okay, I know. They were told because they asked me if I'm Damara or.
Did they ask you whether you're Damara?
Yeah, they asked me, is she Damara or Vambu? If I get a show had a number with a Vambu attitude. You remember my show? So, and this is what I did. I really, when I went there at the meeting, I started speaking to her in deep Damara accent, and that was just to offend her. You see, and we are like that. I didn't care after that, because she already grouped me in. She already decided.
But you do have a Damara accent. I don't think that's. Yes, I do. So you don't have to try. I'm just saying it's there. So what's the problem?
You see, so I don't have a problem. I can we comedians do accents. I can do a Rara accent, but I'm just not gonna pretend the whole day in a Rara accent. I'm just that person. So this is the thing. After that, I just decided, okay, I'm still gonna. And she booked me because she already signed the quote and she didn't want to lose a 70%, and she signed the contract. She booked me. So this is how Damaras are. You're going to come to Grootwingels and you're going to start acting scared of them. They will do something to you. That's just how they are. So you're going to start acting scared, come on, closing your doors and what? They'll be like, okay. And they'll do that. They'll break into your car. Because you coming with that vibe.
Is that really why they break? Because you are scared of them?
No. I'm just saying you can ask anybody. There will be coloreds coming to big shops, drinking, they're getting drunk, they know all the damage. There will be white people even coming to big shops. Go to big shop this Friday. People are enjoying themselves there, but it's just a stereotype because of stuff that happened those years, because of certain reasons that people are like, big shops is dangerous. But you'd go there and have a good time. Never goes to big shops. So you'll go there and have a good time. But people will always have that thing of Kama holding her hand back closer to her and what.
But we feel the same way when we. If I go to Evelyn Street is predominantly Wambo.
Yeah.
And I know everybody tells me, if you go to Evelyn Street, be careful. Yeah. They break into your cars. They do this. That's under Trina. It's a different Trina that side. Then you have it.
That's what I'm trying to say. I think we are stooping on such dangerous ground when we try and make it seem like, these things are happening. People are breaking into your car because you're acting scared of them. No, they're breaking into your car because it's petty crime and it's going to happen in Evelyn, or it's going to happen in Damara, or it's going to happen in Herero location. thieves are there. They exist in all tribes, in
yeah.
every color, in whatever. But also, don't be like people are doing it because you are acting scared of them. And if you just act cool, they're not gonna do anything to you. They will still do it if they want to do it. They will still steal your phone, even if you're cool with them, if that's what they want. And when I say they, I'm not talking about damaras or namas. I'm talking about they.
Everybody.
Thieves. I'm talking about thieves.
I would see videos of what they call piranhas in Brazil. I mean, when it comes to street crime, I think Brazil, Sao Paulo is one of the cities with the worst levels of piranha crimes, where you would have, I mean, like a school of guys, these young boys, like you can clearly see they're either 12, 13 years old, and they always move in packs, like 5, 6, 7, where they zone in on one person, a tourist or an older person or a woman with a handbag or whatever, and then that's why they call them piranhas. They would come at this person, take the cell phone, and they take everything from you, your shoes, everything, in a split second, like 10-20 seconds, and then they leave. They basically disperse right in the crowd. So you wouldn't see that in Katutura. That is next level.
In Katutura is one-man jive.
Crime. Yeah.
One-man jive.
Yeah. Queenie says, guys, if a community is intent on taking absolute ownership of these gangs that operate in the Lokasi, they will.
We're talking about communities also
These
scared.
rascals enjoy the protection they get from some community members than the perpetrated fear. One guy, now named John Wick in Mamelodi, has made it his mission to eliminate all hitmen and gangsters, and people are happy. Just Google crime in South Africa, John Wick, Mamelodi. I would love to read about that. It could happen in tears for Mr. John Wick. The weirdest thing I have seen in Namibia is a white lady at Mr. Price. She was paying. As she opened her bag, there was a small snake. She said it was a surprise for the thieves. Yo. Yeah, very interesting.
So this is also one problem. Like generally as humans, we like pointing out the bad always and celebrating the bad. Like the world has become so, I don't know, drifted to a certain side where being fake is cool now and what, you know. So let's say if somebody does something bad, we put a tribe to it or a name to it or whatsoever. But if a person of that certain tribe does something nice, we put a nation to it, we put a what to it. Hazel Hinder is a Damara. She came home. Yeah. Nobody said, Damaras are winning awards. I am a Damara comedian. I'm the only comedian with 5 awards here now. Nobody would say that. Yeah. They won't call me Damara. They'll say, nah, maybe I'm comedian.
You see, Mitch, that is why this show is so good for you, ne? I can feel that, you know, this is a platform where the therapy that you always needed is really coming
for real.
out. It really helps.
We do that a lot.
Yeah, but can also say that I don't think you realize that you do it too. I just wanted to say that.
How?
I think in the time that I've known you, you've also used Vambo stereotypes so many times. For example, he was speaking about his experience with just Groot Winkel, you know, then he used Damara as an example, right? And you instantly, like, your quirk back is like, the Vambos are also, you understand?
I didn't say that.
But it's fine. It's okay if we all do it.
I'm just saying it sometimes. I get, like, the funny thing is, I get why you're doing it because of, like, I think the stereotypes you experience as a Damara man, right, is I can't walk in your shoes. I can't because and I'm sure if you get it a lot, it will get irritating to a point. It's like, why you always looking at me? My yellow bamboos do not die, and yellow bamboos do not die, and yellow bamboos do not die. Especially if it is the bamboos that mostly do it to you. And knowing my people, I will believe it's probably them. Knowing my
It's
people,
my people, I know.
Yeah. Knowing my people, I probably will believe it's them because we are tribalist and all this. Like me, I don't hide behind what the shortcomings and shortfalls of my people, right? But I think it's like unfortunately what it does is you sometimes then become the person you don't want to become, or you become the thing that you fight against, which is, let's not be tribalist, let's not be this. But then I'm just saying, like, sometimes it does happen because you're not even aware, you just fighting back that you actually just become this person. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But before we could, you guys, we have like 14 minutes. And it's a very, very big topic. We have a new mayor.
Yes. That was.
Yes, like we have 15 minutes. So let's quickly get.
We have a new Damara mayor. See?
That's what I wanted to say. Okay. Because the headline in the new era today said, I just don't have the new era here. The headline said, all the way from Malacca Dry. And Malacca Dry is like
a dangerous area.
As you understand. And this jewel, Shade, she rose from the streets of Malacca Dry. And she is our new mayor. The coalition of political parties which led the Windhoek Municipality Council throughout this year has crumbled after parties failed to resolve their differences over the allocation of positions on the council. After uprooting SWAPO from the Windhoek Council, opposition parties have failed to make things work amongst themselves, often squabbling over positions. Okay, that's basically just the beginning of the story. You know what this is a long story.
Give me the Sun one. It's really, really good.
The Sun one,
let me quickly read it. Just
please. Game of musical chairs. Maybe
Game of musical chairs. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The Progressive Forces marriage is all but over after PDM and AR abstained from elections and nominations at the 11th hour, leaving them in a silent council majority with the ruling party SWAPO. The Popular Democratic Movement, PDM, and Affirmative Repositioning, AR's 11th hour announcement yesterday that they will abstain from the council election means a majority group of 8 councillors from various formations, including the ruling party SWAPO, has more voting power than the 7 councillors controlling the management committee and mayoral office. Next sentence, just quickly. The new balance has left the future of the Progressive Force coalition in tatters, with PDM and AR yesterday seemingly distancing themselves from the pact, and with sources saying they are now leaning towards SWAPO to form a majority of 8 councillors from a council of 15 seats. So that's all. By the way, I just quickly wanted to say before we unpack all of this, it's so funny how I just realized, like, we all have, I guess, our own agendas.
Yes.
Like, for example, when Shade Gowanus was pronounced the next mayor, one person is like, yeah, finally, Adamara. Me, I was like, the 4th female mayor. Yes, a woman. The next person will be like, finally, LPM. As
agendas.
We all have our agendas.
We all have our agendas, and it's okay. It's okay. Let's all celebrate with our agendas. Okay.
I'm so happy for, because do we say she grew up in front of me, or like?
Yeah, you grew up together.
Like Jericho
really
and her
happy for
family.
Yeah.
Jericho's sister.
Yeah.
And I know her struggles. I've seen her.
She was also second Princess Miss Namibia.
Miss Namibia. And I've seen her struggles. I've seen her, like, everything, almost everything. And everybody right now in that location is like, wow.
No, that's really
From
great.
here to there. And I'm not going to mention anything, but like just saying, like, this is, the journey is something. She has a lot to say. She has gone through it. She has a lot of experience as a human being, like, to be in that position. Yeah.
Like Tupac would say, she's the rose that grew from concrete. She broke through concrete.
Yeah, man.
To be where she is today.
I think my only concern is, unfortunately, we're seeing now the the politics, and this is the game of musical chairs. So you have 15 seats. This comprises 5 seats SWAPO, 4 seats IPC, 2 seats AR, 2 seats PDM, 2 seats LPM, and 1 seat NUDO. The 5 seats of SWAPO, and SWAPO did not vote yesterday. I was bitterly disappointed that PDM and AR decided not to vote either, but that gave them a 8-seat non-voting majority against the 7, which is IPC, LPM, and NUDO. I guess, in all fairness, LPM didn't vote last time either. When Job was voted mayor, because they felt apparently there was a lot of lobbying happening and that they were not included in that coalition, so they decided not to partake. I think the coalition broke because obviously IPC decided to then mend fences because they were not good with LPM, and they seem to be now together. That PDM and AR have now kind of removed themselves from that coalition. But the question is, will it serve a better purpose for AR and PDM to get in bed with SWAPO? I mean, where the council is concerned, because they will have the majority of the seats, but will that go against, especially the AR, will that go against their politics, their personal politics? But I hope, it was nice to see Job obviously congratulating Shade, but I think only time will tell whether or not he can put those differences aside, because Shade has in the past criticized Job's style of running the council in a way you would run to social media and announce some of what they've done before it's even announced by the council, which she's criticized his style of leadership. But if he doesn't rise above, if PDM doesn't rise above, what we will see is potentially them jeopardizing whatever proposals they make, because without the PDM and without the AR, if they go with the SWAPO, these guys are in the minority and decisions will not be made, and they will not have the numbers that they need. So it's very concerning moving forward, but let's see. I think let's see how the cookie is going to crumble.
Quick experience I had the last 3 weeks. So 3 weeks ago, I'm in Walfish Bay. I'm hosting a gala dinner in benefit of a new senior park that they want to build in Narraville, in Walfish Bay. We raised $1.7 million that evening. $1.7 million. Basically, all the fishing companies were there in that hall that evening to support this initiative. The mayor of Walfish Bay was there. I believe you also met him on Friday evening at the fish consumption event. So then somebody whispered to me that evening, you know what, Neville? We are so proud, that we raised $1.7 million this evening. And
Sorry, it's too strong for me.
so we raised $1.7 million this evening. Look at this mayor. 3 nights ago at the mayoral fundraising dinner, he could only manage to raise $150,000. We raised $1.7 million this evening. The mayor could only raise for the mayoral fund.
What was that function where the 1.7 million was raised? Sorry?
It was in benefit of a senior park that they want to build
But who
in
organized
Narraville. It's the community of
the community.
Yeah, it's the community.
All right.
So we raised 1.7 million this year. The mayoral fund could only raise $150,000. I was like, are you honestly standing here bragging that the mayoral fund could only raise $150,000?
And you, the fishing companies.
I said, and he agreed, the mayor of Walfish Bay represents IPC. No fishing company wants to be seen
In support.
in support of a mayoral fund of IPC. And what? They decided to stay away. So the mayoral fund is so weak this year because the mayor is IPC. And that is money that is supposed to go directly
To the
to benefit the community of Walvis Bay. The pledging was done on political lines. Once again, the public suffers because
Politics.
of politics. So what I wanted to say, and the reason why I'm saying this, we have an LPM mayor in the chair. Job was there. I have many friends who vote for the party. And we've all said the same thing. Even when Job became mayor, laat come. The treasury, the mandate is
We
with us.
control the wallet.
We control the wallet. Job sal nie reg kry nie. Mark my words. This headline, game of musical chairs.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say.
And that's what I hate, man. That's what I hate. Like, if somebody's in a position, they should be given, and you want to judge them by what they will do, they should be given the equal chance as everybody else. Hulle moet die equal budgets, alles kry.
Maria, seriously, that's what you say. Maria, honestly speaking, come on, my sister, seriously, what is the success rate? What do you think? How much? I think Muhau was saying here in the comments that someone wrote, she is the first true Windhoeker that can relate to the people of Windhoek. It's a very good statement, Muhau. Maar wat sal sy reg kry? LPM.
Let's look at what Job managed to do. Okay, here's a list of what he did. Number 1, Christmas lights in Tura for the first time ever. It's wat hulle geskryf het. Ek lees net. I'm just a reader. I'm just delivering. Number 1.
Where?
Christmas lights in Tura for the first time ever. Number
Dankie.
2. Zero debt for NEM Water for the first time ever. Number 3. Zero debt for NEM Power for the first time ever. Number 4. CEO public presentations for the first time ever. Presentations. All right. Number 5. Secured funds for traffic lights at busy Havana Fourway. Number 6. Secured 120 million from KFW Bank for urban mobility, including bicycle lanes. By the way, we saw a bit of those bicycle lanes. I saw some near a school that they've started marking.
I'm actually listening to you now.
Yeah. Number 8. Staff cafeteria opened at City of Windhoek. City of Windhoek staff, including cleaners and security guards, can now have affordable lunch. Number 9. Urban agricultural project at Okukuna Farm in Samora Michel constituency. It's about 2,000 hectares, which is equal to 2,000 football fields. No, that's not correct. Number 10. Large-scale land development program targeting at creating 7,000 urbans in informal settlements, 3,000 in informal areas, and 5,000 urbans to be created through a pre-allocation intervention. Number 11. 10 informal football fields in informal settlements. 10.
Wait.
10 informal football fields in informal settlements. Number 12. Established a city-owned company, Novus Actus Holdings Pty Ltd, to deal with the land and housing development. Number 13. Affordable housing pilot project targeting 600 houses. Number 14.
Hoeveel is daar?
To be created.
Yeah, it's a pilot project. All right. Number 14. Windhoek Economic Recovery Plan launched. Ons kan 20 planne launch, dit bedoel ek. 15. Cleaners and security guards now employed directly by the city. No more security and cleaning tenders that drain city coffers. And the last one, 16. 130,000 from mayoral relief fund for the construction of a mobile police station to tackle rape and other challenges. And ek sukkel altyd met hierdie naam.
Korean Gapdem.
I sukkel met dat.
Korean Gapdem.
Korean and Havana areas.
Wow.
1
Okay.
year.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
believe the to be created parts, but yeah, the other
I'm
ones,
sorry.
that's cool.
I thought, obtusely, I thought when you started reading that nonsense, I was like, yeah, this guy did nothing.
No, you did.
But putting that into context, the way that you just did, well, kudos, Job.
Not bad.
He
It's
has
Mayo
done
Mima, to be created.
in how long? 8 months?
1 year, yeah, 1 year basically.
In a year's time.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Congratulations.
So my point I'm trying to say is where there's a will, there's a way. I hope we don't use. Look, a lot can be done if people overcame their pettiness and work together. But if people are not going to work together, and this is, I guess, I don't think she watches, but anyway, this is just still advice for Shade. Even if there are people trying to block your efforts, don't stop trying. Don't stop just making little inroads. Those little inroads go a very long way. And yeah, I mean, I definitely remain optimistic and hopeful that she will come through.
Job did well under the circumstances. That is what Estomish is saying. Trini says,
Yeah.
Maria, watch and observe all the politics of hung councils in Ekurhuleni, Joburg, Tshwane, the big metros, and the economics that go with it. Windhoek is also uniquely poised. Could be the new dispensation in local governance in the short term for all intents and purposes. Norma Guth says, Mayor Shade, governors, congratulations. Stephanus James Ananias, Walvis Bay or Whalefish Bay. Controlling the wallet to not benefits the nation is super wrong. That is what Estomich is saying. Jürgen Geisep, there's toch Walvis Bay, not Whalefish Bay. Walvis remains the Walvis Engels of Afrikaans toch op 'n ou neef. Ja, ek sukkel soos Maria sukkel met Korean Gapdam.
Ja, maar
Ek sukkel met wal.
Sê dit weer, laat ek net probeer.
Korean Cup.
Korean. Korea. Is the G that
Korean
because
Cup.
the G confuses me because some people say Korean Cup, but I see a G. Korean Cup.
Korea. There you go.
Korean Cup.
Okay.
I will get it now tomorrow from
Can
it.
somebody-
There's an N.
Can somebody
Korean Cup.
teach me how to say
Korea.
Walfish Bay?
I don't know. I didn't know you were saying it.
Whalefish
Walfish Bay.
Bay.
It's not Walfish Bay.
What do you
Walfish.
say?
I say Walfish Bay.
Walfish Bay. Walfish Bay.
I say Walfish Bay.
Maybe
Ek
it's
sê miskien
Walvis.
Whalefish
You want to
Bay.
say Walvis
Jy sê
Bay?
miskien Whalefish
I say
Bay.
Walfish
Nee, hulle praat nonsense.
I say Walfish Bay, and nobody's ever corrected me, so I just assume I'm
King
correct.
Mandume says, governors becoming a mayor reminds me of the movie Akila and the Bee. That excitement. Boyki says, all that was done was just 1 year, and then they still say job was failing. Wat het Kadapwa Kahungu gedoen in all those years?
Never. Just this. Me, I would personally want the governors or the governors and mayors when they start their projects, they must be there until their projects are done and ticked off. Boom, this happened and it is done. So the other mayor doesn't come through and these things haven't
And
been
steal
done.
your thunder.
Yeah, and then boom.
Yeah, but my thing is, if I'm taking snail pace to get the projects done, now must I stay there for 5 years because I'm not getting my things done?
Mara, now if the other mayor comes, these people will be like, yeah, you're talking about this housing project and it's still not done and it's 5 years. The other mayor is gone. Now they'll be putting the blame on the new mayor. So that's the problem. Like, almal moet hulle se story klaar maak en dan gaan hulle.
But quickly, Maria, you who know these things better than most of us, I thought, like, I was shocked to see that Job was only a mayor for about a year. I thought, a mayoral's position is like a set period that you get, like a 5-year period.
For 1 year.
1
Huh?
year. 1 year,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you should be
If
voted in.
people that have served more than 1 year, that's why sometimes they say the longest serving mayor is because every year they've been elected. If you look around the country, a lot of the mayors have retained their position. So some of them are doing second or third year now because they retained the position. So
I
I mean, you
see.
need to have the support to retain the position. Oshakati Mayor has been retained, Ondangwa Mayor has been retained, Ongwediva Mayor has been retained, and so forth, and even the management committee has been retained. I think the problem is when you have, obviously, you don't have this majority and whatever, it becomes difficult to maintain your position.
Job formulated a company, what is the company called again?
Novus.
So he went there because he went off because he wants to work for the company and direct the land plans again. I told you, Job just wants to deal with land.
That's it.
Not become a president.
It's a Thursday, the 2nd of December, guys. Thank you so much that you joined us. And thank you once again for your very interesting input on the various topics that we've discussed here this morning. All in the light of making it a better Namibia. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your day.
Next year same time as we do it again. Shemaka osama ya fiki Hotula itameke kuluka Omwidi taukala wazisa Hungala tabati mboloma Tuala totalu booty shots Havende pamelu crop tops Vamo vunjila vamu poka dots Vamo vama vala vamu toka toto Get it on tonight. Get it on tonight.